Alright, in this video I'm going to look at how to find missing sides of similar figures. So what we're going to have to do here is we're going to have to set up a proportion and solve that. Now one thing you will be told on your quiz, and when you're doing this, you have to know that these two figures are similar. So we're not proving that they're similar, we're given that they're similar, and we're using the fact that if they are similar, their sides are proportional. They have that scale factor. So I'm going to start by setting this up. I'm going to show you how to set them up two different ways. So in this first one, I'm going to use the angle measures. Again, our goal is to create an equation. So we're going to have one fraction or one ratio set equal to another. I like to start with my variable. You don't have to, but it's always a good idea because if you look at the second triangle here, you notice there's three numbers, and a lot of confusion comes from, well, which number am I supposed to use? So if you start with x, it makes sure that you use the right number. So I'm going to start with x. Notice x is right here in between the side, along the side that has one arc mark and no arc mark. So when I come over here, I find the angle that has no arc mark and one arc mark, and that gives me 4. So what you can notice here is there's been a rotation. So this triangle here has been rotated around to here. Now, since I started with this triangle on the left on top, I've got to stick with it. There's no measure here, so I'm going to use 10 as my other number. Now 10 is going to correspond with the side that's between 1 and 2 arc marks. And if I go right here, I've got 1 arc mark and 2, right in between there is 5. So 10 is going to correspond with 5. Again, if you can visualize that rotation, you can see how this is being turned. It's being rotated, I should say, counterclockwise. Now that we have our proportion, all we have to do is cross multiply and solve. So 4 times 10 is 40. 5 times x is 5x. And then we need to divide both sides by 5, and 40 divided by 5 is 8. So that's going to leave us with x equals 8, and you're all done. Now when we come down here, same thing. Notice there's no arc marks or anything about the angles. So we're going to use this similarity statement down here to help us. Again, I'm going to start with my x value. This time it is an expression, 2x plus 3. Please don't let that confuse you. It's the same idea, but instead of an x, I just have to write that whole expression. So again, my goal is to see which side over here corresponds. So I'm going to use this time my similarity statement. So I'm going to take a look right here, and 2x is between m and q. So m and q are right here. They're the last two letters in my similarity statement. So what that means is that it's going to correspond, segment MQ is going to correspond with DE. So if I go up here to my other pentagon, I can find DE. And I see that that measure is 8, so it's going to correspond with 8. Now notice this time my x value is on the right hand side, so when I come over here, I'm going to start with the figure on the right hand side. So that's going to lead me to use 20 on the top. Again, I'm going to use the statement here, so NM. Notice M is the last letter and N is the first letter. So when I come over to my other statement, I'm going to find E and A, the first and last. AE is located right here, which is 10, so I know 20 corresponds with 10. Next step, cross multiply. 8 times 20 gives me 160. Just remember, we talked about this last week and you guys did a great job with it, but when we take this 10 and multiply it by 2x plus 3, we're taking that 10 and we're multiplying it by this entire quantity, so that is going to lead us to distribute. So we're going to bring down that 160. 10 times 2x is 20x. 10 times 3 is 30. Now I just have to solve. It's a two-step equation, trying to get x by itself. So I'm going to subtract 30 from both sides, which is going to leave me with 130 on the left, just 20x on the right because my 30's cancel. And then my last step is to divide by 20. 20's cancel. 130 divided by 20 is going to be 6.5. So my final answer here is going to be x equals 6.5.